it's a new year. I'm quite excited about 2024. It's like something, it's the first time entire year it feels exciting to me. And I'm so glad to have Shane Evans, one of my best mates, and probably my best mate, I should say, who I always love to show up the artwork of, because this is our pride and joy in New Zealand when we were growing up as kids. Well, for me, really, because we had a group called ABC Warriors. But today, oops, hopefully I haven't damaged it. What we're going to be talking about is Chronicles of the Wasteland, right? Shane's new work, and also going to be talking about this fan art from Rico's mate, who he did for this, which is back cover, man. Like, are you going to do a poster release of that? Because that would be cool if you're allowed to.
It's not my artwork.
Yeah, maybe he'll do a poster release of that, or a pin up. So how you been? 2024, man. Like,
well, I still feel like I'm in last year, but that's because when you go on holiday from doing a 9-to-5 job, everything starts to blur together.
Yeah.
So all I've been doing is cutting down hedges and then trying to draw comics at night time. So
because you moved,
doesn't feel like a holiday.
Yeah, because you moved into a new place last year.
Yeah.
A lot of things changed about what your situation, and did you buy the house? Or bought a new house. How many bedrooms?
It's only got 2 bedrooms, but it's got 2 lounges and an art room.
Damn.
So
like you could change that. You could change that. How do you get 2 lounges?
I think it's meant to be 3 bedrooms.
Right.
We've got 2 lounges.
Yeah. Hey Nugget, how's it going, Ross? Hey, pop in if you want, man. Like, it'll be great. Ross Payne, caricature artist.
Yep.
From Wellington. Yeah.
With the steampunk.
I will. I am going to put the link in. Oh, that's right, steampunk. I always forget about that part about Ross being a steampunk cosplayer, as they like to say, right? So here's the invite, bud. This is quite a different thing. I don't often have anybody apart from my close friends come into my home, because it's a very tight spot. Like, I mean, seriously, this is the only area that's free that we can actually sit down.
Yeah, it's actually smaller than last time I was here.
Yeah, well, there's like about.
You might have to try selling.
Seriously.
Stuff.
Yeah. So this is one side. So see the door? This is the wall and the door. So when you come around this way, this is the comics area. This is the kitchen, but right over here, right in front of me, right, is bookshelves and bookshelves and bookshelves full of graphic novels and art books, movie books. But then also in the middle of that, to get to it, I've left this much space on his side. There's a display unit full of toys, and then on top of that is all the stuff from the Plunge convention that he's a part of, that he did for, that's been for part of our lives for the last 5 years, and all the stuff from that. And so when I say there is not much room in our spot, it's very small. Yesterday I had the 2 nephews over, and my nephew from Oz was over, Seth was over yesterday, and he goes, my brother goes, he came in and he walked out, and then he said to my brother David, he said, "Hey, can I go inside, Dad, and have a look at this collection?" And I went, and then David said to me, "Hey," and I said, "Yeah, sure, come in, but there isn't much stuff. I mean, like space, right?" So he comes in, has a look around. It looks like, because I already gave him a bag of stuff, right? Because I don't give my collection away, but I will go and buy stuff for him. So I went out and bought stuff from him into town yesterday for and then came back and said, "Here's your stuff." And but yeah, it's very small, right? So hearing that he's got a friggin' three
Got a double garage
and a double garage, like
room out there.
And damn, I
set the art room up first. When I
of course,
we went straight into it.
Hey, talking about art, I have something for you, and because this is just for you, right? This is a snowboard that I bought last week, that just so that you could paint it for yourself and it's yours. So that, because I've got a snowboard, like a skateboard from you. So I thought, in return, because I got this for Christmas last year. So for this Christmas this year, you get that to paint on as you want. Because check it out, I get a skateboard and he gets a snowboard to paint for whatever. Sell it, do whatever you want. But, you know, it's a bigger, you know, if you really look at it, it's, you know.
How did you fit this in your house?
Should think about how did I get it to get it home, right? I had to get a taxi and everything, which I do.
Where did you find snow in Northland?
I actually used to have a V drink actual snowboard, like brand new, that I won in a competition at Mount Ruapehu, and in about 2001, which I had to sell because I was, you know, when I was a student, I needed the money, and I only got $120 for it. But yeah, I mean, like, so I've never snowboarded, but I saw this at Salvation Army the other day, and I was like, yeah, that'll be great to paint on. I don't know what, like, you know more about like primers and all that stuff and what it'll work, because it's got that, you know, that seal on it.
Sand the shit out of it.
Yeah, sand it and stuff, and then you know,
it's definitely a big canvas.
It is, you know, it's bigger than a skateboard, right? So I think that's the great thing about it. It's bigger than a skateboard, and so you got more room to work on. And you know, imagine doing an awesome Chronicles of the Wasteland, you know, scene on it, and then like just from one side to the other, you could have all your other characters on it.
Yeah.
And then, you know, if you ever wanted, you could like basically do a competition in New Zealand wide. Say, here's a, you know, because you're going to send it down, it's going to look brand new, right? And you go, here, if you buy such and such, the 500 member, whatever, you know, sold, whatever, and you go, here's a competition, you get to win this. And imagine, you know, somebody hanging there on their wall, because like you're an artist, right? You've been an artist for so long, and you have your art all over the world, as far as I know, because people have bought and sent it over.
It's traveled a wee bit, yeah.
So I mean, what's that been like, being a doing fine art? It's like this, like painting, right? Painting onto actual canvases.
I don't really consider myself fine art. I would say
more pop,
illustration, lowbrow,
right?
Which is like when you do, like Robert Williams is lowbrow. He's a cartoonist, but he's also an artist and a painter.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see that he likes hot rods, pin-up girls, that sort of stuff. Mm. So yeah, I think mine's more lowbrow, more illustration. I'm not really a fine artist. Mm. I draw things I enjoy, so right. I don't go for the fine art route. I mean, if I sat there and tried, I reckon I could oil paint quite well. I've used oils before, but I don't want to.
Yeah. and that's the thing about like you, if you're doing art and if it's not bringing you joy, why would you do it, right?
Yeah.
And if it's because you take, it's about time. Like, I mean, creating art takes time, and so I mean, like someone who, you know, who wouldn't be, you know, in the same vein, right? Like Caricature and stuff, is Ross Payne here, one of our great friends. I mean, I consider him a friend. From Wellington. How you doing, bud?
Hey, good. How about you?
You're sounding a bit like delayed there. I'm not sure what the deal is. Like stuff.
Yeah, technically it's a different setup from last time, but can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. It'll be fine. I mean, like, I just realized that, yeah, it definitely has to be different from last time because you were very clear last time. Yeah, I mean, talking about fine art and stuff, I've always kind of like, I mean, my favorite fine art artist is Gustav Klimt. For those who don't know,
he's very graphical though.
Yeah,
I mean, he's not really. He's a lot of graphic designers love him. So
that's what I love about him. He's when I was doing art school, and like I've done oils as well, and acrylics and stuff, and I did a whole range of like probably about 12, 15 canvases, like large ones and everything, and even did a whole wall kind of like size. I love, because I was really inspired by him.
Yeah. The
whole idea of like gold and silver, and you're right. He's more like kind of what was it? What you used?
I'd say it's more for graphic artist, in my opinion. I mean, he's obviously fine art. People think he's fine art, but he's got that. He's got the design sort of touch to it, where he doesn't have to draw something realistically.
Yeah.
He also doesn't draw something abstract. He doesn't throw paint at the canvas. He plans out what he's doing.
That's it. Yeah. I remember doing a gosh, that wall one I was telling you about, maybe like it's about 2.5 meters by 2 meters, you know, on canvas. And, you know, and then in my head, I was like, I am kind of like gonna like be as graphic as I can be with me. And this is where it's, you know, from that point now I've become a graphic artist kind of thing, in the sense like a designer, not like an artist, but I consider myself as a designer more than a artist. But when it comes to practical stuff like sculpture and stuff, I consider myself an artist in that sense, right? But you're right about him and the way he places stuff using gold leaf and stuff, or paints, and it's just, that's why I think it's the eclectic way of myself being an artist, because of that inspiration from that.
Yeah.
What are your inspirations, like to where you're at now and where you started from?
Well, I've got the obvious ones. Well, quite a few obvious ones. I can't say one or two. I've got a giant pile of art books. I mean, I love the Robert Williams stuff.
Right.
Obviously, people like Dave McKean, Simon Beasley.
Yeah.
Got to go back to the classics like Frazetta and
Simon, dude, like Simon
and Geiger.
Yeah.
They have Geiger.
Yeah. I mean, like, seriously, all the names you're naming are my favorites. Like Geiger, like McKean, with Dave with the what Daredevil, like the covers for Daredevil, right? He did those ones. Or was it the other one? That what was that one? It's like the Japanese one. What was
David
it?
Mack.
Oh, that's David Mack, right?
David Mack. Well, he's if you're talking about your Gustav,
yeah,
I'd say David Mack is probably a giant fan of his too. He's got quite a few works that look very fine art.
I was what I think is really great now is that you've got access to all these creatives now.
Yeah.
And not only can you like look at their work like going back decades, but you can see their current work, and then you can hear about them like we're talking about, their inspirations themselves.
Yeah.
But also be friends with them because of internet, or see their current work and follow them and stuff. And you were talking about, who was that guy that was you mentioned earlier, who's a podcaster, when we were talking with Nick on Larry's show.
Will Terrell or whatever it is.
Yeah, I might have heard the name, but
sounding
yeah.
real familiar. I just thought I'd watched them on YouTube. That's all.
Yeah, and the good thing now is because of YouTube, you get to see these guys and talk about that. What's the other one? Like, who's that one that you listen to? Like Kayfabe?
Yeah, cartoonist Kayfabe. But I mean,
yeah,
both of them are illustrators and cartoonists, which is great. So just love comic books,
right?
And they don't love normal comic books, which is even better.
Which is basically what you're into, because it's like horror and stuff. You like the that's something that's not like conventional, right?
Yeah.
Like the mainstream. And
well, they grew up on Image Comics, but
right.
like they said, they quickly grew out of Image Comics. They quickly realized there was a lot more to see, and not everything had to be superheroes. So I think that's the main thing. I like when people say that comics are dying. I don't think they are completely. I think they're changing.
Right.
I think when they say comics are dying, they mean in DC.
Right. And that's it.
Because indies are going off, and Kickstarters, which never existed 15 years ago, people are getting 20 times their funding that they ask for. So a lot of successful people doing independent stuff. It's just the big two that are stuck in their ways and not that creative.
That's it.
Are dying. So it's strange.
and the only way they can see, like, this is talking about mainstream, right? The only way Marvel and DC can see them go forward is by getting people who know nothing about the medium knee-jerk reactions to trying to make it work, like to succeed. And so you get the gender, you get the sexuality changes, and they think that's what's going to make it succeed. Why not just create new characters with that? But the good thing is, like we said, like indies are popping, man. Like indies are popping. You want to see what's popping? We're about to release our own comic, but I want to talk about one thing that's really popped. And didn't think
when I was a kid, I never got into comics very much because of the superhero things would never gelled with me. But I just loved the Tintin and Asterix, really. And some Commando comics back in the day.
it's a very Kiwi thing.
It
Tintin
is.
and Asterix.
I have.
I
You
think
know,
the New Zealand taste is not superheroes because
Yeah.
Tintin and Asterix popular.
Yeah.
Judge
and this.
Dredd
Mm.
very popular.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
precious.
I mean Australia loves the Phantom.
Yeah.
It's like
They do, right?
that's like the closest to
Oh
the
yeah.
And I'm like, I think we do like the superheroes, but we like the darker ones or maybe the more grounded ones.
Mm.
I don't think we like the ones that have all the powers in the universe and then still get beaten up by some guy in tights.
That is true. That's very Kiwi, right? Because we're so used to different things, and I think that allows us to be, eclectic in our own taste as well. Because if you're liking Tintin and Asterix, and then you're also liking Judge Dredd, you're gonna have a very different kind of like outlook on on comics, because your tastes are different, and and it's going to allow you to be out here enjoying more than, say, if you just grew up in America and all you saw was Batman and Spider-Man and all that. And then if you're in Europe, you saw their albums, right? They put out graphic novels. They don't have floppies, and you see, which is what Tintin and Asterix are. And Mobius. Yeah. And Gerard, is that what his name was? Gerard?
I think Gerard.
Yeah. And who's also, I mean, like, amazing influence on the whole generation of European artists. Which allowed them to come over. I mean, if you look at stuff like what's the title of that, man? I can't see the title on that poster.
With the Valerian.
Yeah, Valerian, right? The amazing influence of Valerian on Star Wars, because they hired people from Europe to work on Star Wars, right? And created the Cantina scene, which is a total lift, right? Or you could say a homage from Valerian, right? And and it's just so amazing to see that. And people say, oh, it's homages are new and all this is new. No, this has been around for decades. So one of the, like, getting back to this thing here with Waterworks, this just finished today, and I'm a backer of this, the trade paperback collection, right? So this just succeeded today, and we're talking about Kickstarter, right? They were after like about 2K US, and they ended up with 6.5K. And so it's just amazing to see, and this is for here's the thing, I backed a graphic novel for $5 on, I think, US, which is like about $7, or was it $12 or something? I don't know.
Is that the PDF?
Yeah, PDF version of that. Maybe someday I'll be able to get the actual physical thing. But this is so cool. I mean, like, to be able to, whoops, sorry, got that wrong again. To be able to, have your book that you'd never be able to maybe be accepted by the mainstream, or get a hand in your, like a leg or foot in the door of that, because it's all, you got to do superheroes, right? And the two main things, apart from like the later 5 that are down at the bottom, like mid-tier ones, like Image and so on. But if you're not doing superheroes, you're out. And I think that's why I like DC Vertigo, because it allowed non-superhero comics to be out there. Like Constantine, like Swamp Thing, Preacher, and but this sort of support for independent creators is amazing. And then the fact that not only that, but you get, like, I've got Timothy B. Fling on my Facebook, right? I want to actually ask him to do an interview with me about this whole process and how long he's been doing it and all that stuff. But you can buy a graphic novel PDF for about $7, $8 in New Zealand, right? Which is beautiful, because otherwise I would never know who this guy was without Kickstarter. Never know him, having this and stuff like that. And that's why I think it's just a great new world for indie comics. And you're right. It's the comics isn't dying. It's the support for mainstream comics which is destroying it, Marvel and DC, and it's destroying the mainstream, which is actually destroying the comic stores, which we need.